Hey, okay, so if you're wondering why I look messy, it's because I've neither shaven nor showered. I just woke up. It's like 1 o'clock and I'm on spring break, so yeah. Um, we're gonna be talking about rational exponents today. Now, just a couple of things that I can think of is how to add them, how to multiply them, and how to write them differently. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the last one, how to write rational exponents differently. For example, if you have the square root of x, just written like that, and you want to write it as a rational exponent, it becomes x equals, or x to the power 1/2. That's just a rule. It is x to the power 1/2 is the square root. So now, same thing with the cube root of x. The cube root of x becomes x to the power 1/3. Now you see the pattern, so the quadruple root of x would be x to the 1/4. And so, for example, if you were given cube root of x squared, like this, so x is squared, and then you take the cube root. Well, you can think up here, these are all to the exponent 1, and the 1 is up there. So therefore, it would become x to the power 2/3. Okay? And now this is really handy if you are dealing with a calculator and you need to figure out stuff on there because, for example, if you're like, I want to take the cube root of whatever number, well, on your calculator, the cube root button is, you can access it, but it's pretty tough. And for example, 2 to the power 2/3 is, you can't really do with a calculator except you do squared and then take the cube root. So it is easier if you just do x caret parenthesis 2 divide 3 parenthesis. And that is the same thing as taking cube root of x squared. That's the first one. And the second thing is negative exponents. My blue really doesn't erase with this eraser. That's an issue. I try to use blue last time. Second, really important, this is the most important thing. Honestly, if anything goes through your brain watching this needs to go through. X to the power -1. It is not negative x. It is not whatever you're thinking. It is 1/x. Negative exponents mean it travels into the denominator. Okay, so if you have x of -1, it's 1/x to the 1. Okay? If you have, for example, x to the -2, then it just becomes 1/x squared. Alright? Now, if you have 2x to the -1, for example, then that is 2/x. Okay? Because the 2 still has a positive first exponent. Do not be confused because it is a number and this is a variable. If you had yx -1, it would be the same, y/x. Okay? Negative exponents travel to the bottom and then look at the number. If it's 1, it's just the variable. If it's a 2, you square it. If it's x to the -3rd times y, it becomes y/x to the 3rd. Okay? Yeah, that's the first thing. So now I'm gonna do a couple of problems. Let's see. This is my Algebra 2 textbook I took from the school and never returned way long ago. Alright, so for example, I have the quadruple root of 16z squared. Okay? And I want to simplify, not simplify, I want to write this as with rational exponents. Okay? So 16, first of all, when you're dealing with numbers and you're dealing with rational exponents, here's what you want to do. You know 16 is a square of 4, right? And 4 is a square of 2. So what you want to do is you want to factorize all the numbers. Like, imagine this right here, the inside of your squared. You want to break it down as much as you can. So for example, 16 is you want to get the least common factor. So the smallest factor you can think of besides 1, do not ever think of 1, is 2. So 2. And so then divided by 2, that becomes 8. The smallest factor of that is also 2. That divided is 4, 2, 2, 2, 1. And once you reach 1, you're done. So now the 4 factors that make up 16 is 2, okay? Or is 4 2s. So that means that 2 to the 4th, 2 times 2 times 2, equals 16, okay? All the factors that make up z squared are z times z, okay? So now we have all the factors of our inside square root. Now, we want to take the quadruple root. For the quadruple root to happen, we need to see what we got. And we got 2 to the 4th, so you can take the quadruple root of that very easily. And you got z squared. You cannot really do this one. Now here's how you're going to tackle this. 2 to the 4th goes out because 2 to the 4th quadruple rooted becomes the quadruple root of 16, which is 2. So 2 goes in front of the square root now because you took the quadruple root of 16, which is 2. Z squared stays inside because it does not have 4 of itself to take the quadruple root of. So here's how you're going to turn this into a rational exponent now. Where is this here? Remember what I told you before? You do z to the power what's inside and then divided by what's outside, right? Because squaring is making it go higher. Taking a square root is making it go lower. So therefore, 2 becomes higher because you're multiplying by 2, and then you're dividing by 4 if you want to remember it. The 2 makes it more, the 4 makes it less, so therefore the 2 is on top and the 4 is on the bottom. 2 to the 4th is the same thing as 1/2. Therefore, your simplified expression is 2 times z 1/2. Okay? Let's do one more. Okay. 16 to the power of 1 over 4. Okay? So, 1 over 4 means, remember what 1 over 4 means. It means the quadruple, this is a bad example, we just did this. It means the quadruple root of 16 because it's in the denominator. Now, 16 to the power of 1 quadruple rooted. Okay? So therefore, again, you're going to factorize 16. Smallest factor is 2. 8 divided by 2, you get, again, 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Smallest factor is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And you're done. So it's 2. Because you have 4 of these, and you need the quadruple root. Okay? I need one with negative exponents. There we go. (81 to the power negative 3 over 4). Now, what this means is, first of all, always deal with the negative first. So that actually means it's 81, 1 over 81, 3 to the 4th, okay? That's what that means. Always put it just 1 over, okay? And you can deal with the rest later. Now, second thing is, when you are given two values in the denominator and your numerator that are not 1, you can choose which one do you want to do first. Do you want to cube it, so to the third power, or do you want to take the quadruple root because the 4 is in the denominator? In this case, I would advise you to look if there is a quadruple root, because it's 81. So let's look at 81. Let's factor 81. The smallest factor that goes into 81 is 3. I know this because I add 8 and 1, it becomes 9, and 9 is divisible by 3, if you don't know the trick. So then, that's 27. Then divided by 3 again becomes 9. Divided by 3 again is 3. Divided by 3 again is 1, and you're done. So you got 3 to the 4th. Okay? That's perfect, because I can very well take the quadruple root of 3 to the 4th, which is 3. Okay? So therefore, we only have 3 to the 3rd left now. Okay? Because we have taken care of the 4. It's like 1 now. Okay? So 3 cubed, of course, is 27. So the answer is 1 over 27. Okay? Again, if you have a negative exponent, just put it on the bottom. Put a 1 over it. That's all it means. Okay? So, yeah. Literally, if you have a negative exponent, just put 1 over what you have. And everything you have. So 3/4. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the second thing, which is adding and multiplying rational exponents. So first of all, I'm going to talk about multiplying, okay? If you multiply exponents, let's say you have a to the 2 times a to the 4, and you want to know what that is equal to, what you do is you can add the exponents. So 2 plus 4 equals 6, therefore it's a to the 6. Now, big star. What needs to be true is that the base, the number, but here it's an a, is the same. So we have a and a, so we are good. But for example, let's put this into numbers now. If you have 4 squared times 2 to the 3, and you want to know what that's equal to, you cannot just add 2 and 3 and say, oh, it's either 4 or 2 to the 5th. No. You have to get these to be the same base. So think about 4 for a second. 4 is a base of 2. So 4 is actually 2 squared. And then don't forget about the 2 that's already there. So multiply those 2. And then times 2 to the 3rd. So you get 2 times 2 plus 3 equals. So that's 4 plus 3, which is 7. So their answer is 2 to the 7th power. Okay? And the second thing we need, okay, let's first back up. Same thing, of course, is true for division. If you have a to the 7 divided by a to the 4, it is like 7 minus 4, which is 3. Therefore, your answer is a to the 3rd. Okay? Same thing applies here. You need to have the same base. So if you have, for example, 9 to the 3rd divided by 3 squared, you have to look at your thing. The base is not the same. You got 9 and 3. But 9 is 3 squared. So therefore, that is equal to 3 squared times 3 over 3 squared. That is 2 times 3, minus 2. So that's 6 minus 2, which is 4. So your answer is 3 to the 4th. By the way, just for this unit, you are allowed to leave your answers like this. You do not have to find out what 3 to the 4th actually is, even though that's 81, as we just did. Okay. The second thing is when you add exponent or these guys. Actually, let me see if I need to do that. I don't think you have to add them. Yeah, you're good. This is all you need to know. So let me do a practice problem real quick for this. There you go. This is nice and hard. 2c to the power 1 over 8 divided by c to the negative 1 over 16 times c to the power 1 over 4. Okay? So this is talking about everything you have learned. Okay? First up, negative exponents. Negative exponent, you just move it up top. I taught you from top to bottom, but if it's on the bottom already, you move it back up. So what you get now is 2c to the 1/8 times c 1 over 16 divided by c 1 over 4. Okay? Now, remember what I told you? 1/8 and 1/16, when they're multiplying, you just add them, so you get c 1/8 times c 1 over 16 equals to c to the 1 over 8 plus 1 over 16. And so that is 2 over 16 plus 1 over 16, which is 3 over 16. So the 2 is not affected at all by this, okay, because the 2 is just a coefficient of the c, don't worry about that. So your top is simplified 2c to the 3 over 16, and you're dividing by c to the 1 over 4. Now, again, remember what I told you about when you have like this, when you have them dividing, you just subtract. So what you do is 3 over 16 minus 1 over 4. Now this is messy fractions. What you do is you get the denominators to be the same. So 4, you gotta just multiply by 4, so you get 3 over 16 minus 4 over 16. Okay? So that equals 1 over 6, or negative 1 over 16. So your answer is 2 to the c to the 2 times c to the 1 over 16. But wait, because this is negative, you again move it to the bottom. You get 2 to the c to the 1/16. And now, because you have to put in rational, you think about this, and it is 2 over the 16th root of c. And I hope I did this right. Should be. If it's not, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's your answer. Okay, good luck.